the Huntsville area. A heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Now open, this is your invitation to experience the grand opening of AVIQ's new 10,000 square foot showroom. The best brands in home audio, home theater, and home automation. The place to see and hear and feel and listen and watch. The place where you can audition top brand audio and video equipment before it goes in your home. World-class brands now available in Huntsville. Come experience the difference. 1833 University Drive, just east of the Parkway at the all-new AVIQHSV.com.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Can you get me a little typeseat?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
You're tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Top 10 Tuesday edition of the Thom Abraham Show. I am your host, Thom Abraham, and you know what? Today, we are going to bring you a list that is sure to ignite some emotion. It's the top 10 college football traditions, as named by 24/7 Sports. Now, look, this is not my list, all right? I didn't invent this list, and I do think there are a couple of things that are missing, and some things that maybe shouldn't be on there, but we're going to share it anyways. And I'd love to get your thoughts on it. It seems that really every school has some sort of tradition, no? I mean, we're going to run them down today. Now, I also have a little bit of playoff fever going on with the NHL and NBA deep into the second round now last night. Now, Vegas took that back to home ice from the Oilers, easily winning in Edmonton. And tonight, ESPN has a doubleheader of NHL action, plus another Rangers coach got fired. And the Chicago Blackhawks won the lottery for the number one pick in the draft, and they will pick a 17-year-old kid labeled a can't miss by the name of Connor Bedard is his name. Greg Wyshynski, ESPN.com, is coming up to talk some pucks with us in a few minutes. Now, in the association, great game last night in L.A. with the Lakers taking a 3-1 lead over Golden State. And the champs are on the road right now. Ropes. I mean, they're on the ropes. They get to go home, but they're on the ropes right now. TNT will have the big doubleheader tonight with the critical Game 5s in the Boston, Philly, and Phoenix-Denver series. So Bo Estes from NBA TV and NBA.com is coming up in the top of the one on that. Why didn't the owner of the Suns even get fined? All right, they didn't suspend him. They didn't suspend Joker. Right? They fined Joker $25,000 for throwing an elbow at the owner of the Suns, who was bogarting the ball when he was trying. How do you not? I thought the owner should have been ejected from the game. I don't know who ejects him. Do you eject yourself? You're the owner of the team. He should have been thrown out of that game. And he, at the very least, should have been fined. Okay? You don't do that. All Joker did was throw a little tricep at him. The guy was all over him. We'll ask Bo about that. All right, phone lines are open, 256-576-4977. You can text the show, 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. That'll get you in. It is a great way to communicate with us. My Twitter feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The radio stations is at 97.7 ESPN. We're on the Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. You can watch the show on Twitter and Facebook. You can watch the show on Twitch and YouTube as well. Follow us on Twitch, like and subscribe on YouTube, get the notifications. All of that is at 97.7ESPN.com. Get our apps, too. You need the Zone app, the Blitz app. You need to have those apps so you can get links to Zone 2 and Zone 3 and Zone 4, all our alternate streaming channels for more great programming. You can check out our programming calendar at 97.7ESPN.com. One of the things we'll have on Zone 4 will be the new Huntsville City soccer team. I'm using that term because that's a descriptive. I'm using it as an adjective. It's Huntsville City soccer team. I know the name of the team is Huntsville City Football Club, but it's just so hard for me to say football club when I'm trying to tell you what it is, soccer team. Because there's somebody out there that's listening maybe for the first time. I say Huntsville City Football Club, and they're like, ooh, football. We're going to have football? It's soccer. You know, like Nashville Soccer Club, which owns the Huntsville City Football Club. Anyway, did you see they've now sold over 3,000 season tickets? 3,000!
Huh?
The refurbished Joe Davis Stadium now holds a little more than 6,000. So the building is half sold out. And look, opening night, Friday, May 19th, I'm guessing it's going to be sold out.
Go!
Just like it was when the Huntsville Stars opened that joint in 1985 with over 10,000 people in the building. Now, this league that the team is in, the team needs a nickname. What are we supposed to call the team? The club? We'll call them the club. This league that the club is in, I mean, that's when you write. You know what I mean? You refer to a team first by its full name, and then its back name. When you say Alabama Crimson Tide, then you say Alabama, then you say the Tide, then you say Alabama, then you say the Tide. What are we supposed to say with this? Huntsville City, Huntsville City, Huntsville City, Huntsville City. The club. Huntsville City. City? Anyway. Many of the teams in this league, they play in stadiums that are smaller capacity-wise than the number of tickets that Huntsville's already sold for season tickets. I'm just telling you. It's kind of a hodgepodge. And the league is not real good about sharing attendance numbers. Huntsville will be an outlier for this league, I'm telling you. Now the team needs to just start winning some games. They don't have a regulation win yet. They have 4 losses and 2 shootout wins, which gives them a total of 4 points. It is a 28-game season. So they need it, let's go ahead and start winning some games. Because you know how it is in win or tie. Just come up with some points. All right, over there in that little glass booth with the slanted ceiling, playing the platters of matter and the stacks of wax and man on the phones, keeping us on air. Fired up for COVID. COVID sounds like COVID. COVID, do you have to get a shot for that? If you got COVID, come on, you boys in blue. Is that what COVID? What if they're wearing white? It's DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a 1-hour television spectacular.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
He may be the smartest person that I've ever met.
Testosterone high today. What's that? Testosterone, whatever the it is. Testosterone.
I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
Is that what you want me to call him? COVID?
It's Koi Bib. It is. Come on, you boys in blue. They do it for like all the different types of colors, type teams or whatever.
Who's they?
Like just European clubs, just clubs in general.
We're not in Europe. What do we do here?
Hey, I guess we just say city. The city. You know what I mean?
I could call them City. I guess that's a kind of a cool nickname. City.
It'd be cool if we were the City. Like I'm sure there's gonna be flags.
Man City versus Man U. Yeah. Be Man City.
There's gonna be flags. There's gonna be banners. You're gonna see it all from the Parkway when you're driving by Joe Davis. I'm sure
Still
from the
stands. Help me with a nickname. Just there's flags and banners.
I mean, I'm just saying it's gonna be the City, and there's gonna be types of things. I'm sure there's gonna be little stuff that's gonna be thrown into there because I'm sure the soccer groups that are already formed up. The football groups, the football club groups.
Man, you're hot.
It's the same.
I'm
not even going in the red.
Away,
I'm not even going in the red, so I apologize. But
killing me.
But anyway, just saying that you got your soccer groups. You got your soccer nuts. You got your foo bars. You got your. I can't remember the other ones. Yeah, there's a bunch. It's a group on Twitter that is one of the. There's at least 3 groups that claim to be. That claim to be the first group. For HCFC or the first soccer group, yeah. I think I'm missing one more too, and I'm pretty sure they're probably.
They need to call it soccer. They
soccer
need to call
clubs.
it soccer.
Soccer clubs.
It's when you think about it, if you were describing it, you would say it's the Huntsville City Football Club soccer team.
It'll be cool for me though. It's the first time I've seen soccer in Huntsville, like some level of professional, since the Huntsville Fire when they played in the VBC.
Indoor soccer.
Yeah. It was actually kind of cool.
Well, this is in this country. This is a pretty strong level of play in this, for our country.
Yeah.
Because this is, there are players that go back and forth between MLS and everything else, but it's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
That in some other, look, in Cincinnati they played in front of 500 people.
Yeah.
Here they're going to have their 3,000 season ticket holders.
It's kind of weird because you've got Kenny Amiche and then you've got Joey Desart, who both have been on the HCFC rosters, have been playing the whole entire season, like you said, and then have gotten the chance to get called up and play for Nashville SC.
They go up and down the same week.
But it's kind of cool that we're able to see people play, which you don't technically qualify as professional because it's not European. It's
professional.
It's professional, but it's not compared.
Major League Soccer in our country. Definitely
it's professional.
What these guys are doing is professional.
Yes, they're going straight up into it. I think that's cool.
Baseball team is professional baseball.
Yeah, but a lot of times our baseball guys will go straight into that AAA team or whatever, and they may not make it the jump into.
They may not.
We're seeing these guys make that jump right into the MLS. So you're watching 2.5 hours away. You're watching guys play. Professional soccer.
Maybe it's in the cities that don't have. Yeah. Maybe it's in the cities that already have an MLS team. That's why nobody goes and watches their JV team. You know what I mean? Like Cincinnati or Atlanta, places like that.
Well, I think Atlanta does really well because
they did have one crowd. It was like 18,000 last year.
Yeah.
But now they're not. So the places where there's a team already, like Columbus, they play in the same stadium. Well, actually, they play in the old Columbus Crew Stadium, the JV team. But those places. They can go see the MLS team, so they're not really that fired up to go see the JV team.
Yeah.
Here, our varsity team is in Nashville, so the JV team is in Huntsville. So in Huntsville is just sports crazy. You know what I mean? So they're going to go out and check the game out. All right, let me get Philip in here. Didn't Philip call like 3 times yesterday and we never got him in because it was always the wrong time when he called? Let me get him in here now. Philip, what's going on?
What's up? Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm all right. Brandon. I love Brandon. Well, I don't love it like love him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really like Brandon.
You're fond of Brandon.
But I must disagree with Brandon's call yesterday about the college pitcher balking. Here's the deal, dude. When you come set, you either step off or you pitch the ball. Who was that jackwagon? I don't know. I can't remember. He might have been a freaking Brave, probably. That like tick, rocking back and forth, rocking. That crap needs to go. Now, I'm a frustrated Mets fan right now, and I'm a little freaking irritated about what's going on, but I'm sick and tired of these pansy-ass pitchers in Major League Baseball. So, no, I totally disagree with Brandon, and I'm not hating.
As far as what? As far as the fact that if the guy balks, he balks. Yeah.
If you can't pitch, get out of the game. Mm-hmm. And we don't need more teams. Nashville. We don't need Major League Baseball expanding
Yeah.
If we can't get these sissy, pansy ass that can't throw more than 3 freaking innings.
But that's the game. That's the nature of the game. That's the way these guys are coming up through the minors. That's the way the systems are raising them. 100 pitches is the wall. Now some places 70, 80 pitches is the wall. Toronto started doing this thing a couple of years ago, with the opener instead of a starter, and they go all straight bullpen for the whole game. It's the nature of the game. It's changed, Philip. You got to change with the times. It's changed. And we need 2 more teams because you can't have a 30-team league. You got to have 32 teams. It's imbalanced. We need 2 more teams.
I agree with that. It is imbalanced.
Yeah.
But instead of expanding, perhaps we should be subtracting. Because obviously there aren't enough men in America that can pitch like people used to pitch.
Yeah.
Bigger, faster, stronger, horse crap. No, they're not.
Well, did you hear?
Nolan Ryan, explain Jim Palmer, explain Robin Roberts. The list goes on and on and on and on and on.
Did you hear my?
It's a bunch of freaking pansies.
Did you hear my?
I'm sick of it.
Did you hear my comment the day that it was the anniversary of Nolan Ryan's 7th no-hitter? They had the anniversary of his 7th no-hitter, and my comment is that nowadays pitchers will go through their entire career and not have 7 complete games. They don't have 7 complete games, and he had 7 no-hitters. But it's a different world.
And they're making more money.
Oh yeah,
they're making more money.
Money's ridiculous.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. Well, the owners aren't doing this at a loss. They're not paying these guys that kind of money so they can lose money. Can you imagine how much money the owners are making if they're willing to pay these kind of salaries, $200 million, $150 to $200 million per team salaries? They're not doing it and losing money. These guys are not in the philanthropy business when it comes to baseball. So they're making even more money. Just the way it is.
The human male arm has not detracted. They are doing something different to these kids that the people from the past were not doing, yet they keep doubling down on it and keep doing it over and over and over again, and then scratching their heads going, we don't understand. Why in the world? What was it different? Well, there's a problem. Fix it.
Well,
these are grown freaking men. You're a starting pitcher. If you can't go 7 innings 90% of the time, you suck and you don't belong in the major league.
Well, keep in mind that's part of the reason. Part of the reason was is that they didn't throw 100 miles an hour like they do now. They didn't throw. Everybody throws 98, 99, 100. Nolan Ryan, if he hit 92, 93, he was an unbelievable fireballer at 92, 93 because they were going to pitch 130 pitches in the game, and they were going to stay in the game, and so they pitched instead of throwing. They actually pitched, and they kind of took care of their own arms a little bit that way. Now, and then they tell them, look, you just throw a 100 the whole time, and we'll get you out of there after 75 pitches.
Well, is that not stupid?
Well,
is that not stupid?
Apparently,
is that?
Well, it sounds stupid, but it's also not. It's the way they play the game now.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Stop doing it.
It's one of the things.
It's stupid.
It's one of the things. Thanks for the call, Philip. That's a good job by you. You're going to have an aneurysm. The guy's going to lose it. It's one of the things that one of the reasons games used to be longer or shorter back in the day is there was not nearly as many strikeouts as there is now. Bob Costas talked about this. Everybody's talking about why was the game, how come the game got so long? Well, yeah, a lot of it had to do with lollygagging. There's no doubt about it. Costas made a very poignant point. He said baseball is supposed to have a pleasing, leisurely pace, not a plodding, lethargic pace, which is where we had gotten to. This season's changes are designed to bring us back to the proper balance, even if trial and error leads to some slight correction. The general idea is the right one, and the early returns are very positive. That's from an old-school baseball guy. Everybody, thinks that people are like, that's a traditionalist right there. But he noted that part of the reason games were quicker in the past were the fact that balls were put in play. Now you have a lot more strikeouts. Well, what do you got to do to get a strikeout? You got to have 3 strikes. To get 3 strikes, generally you got to have 5 or 6 pitches. So you're going way deeper into counts now. So many more strikeouts. than there used to be. All right, let's grab a break. When we come back, Greg Wyshynski will join us. We'll get us updated on what's going on in the NHL playoffs and some other news around the league. Next, right here on 97.7 ESPN.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Your Trash Pandas return to the Rocket City Tuesday, May 16th for back-to-back 6-game homestands at Toyota Field. Promotions include a Trash Pandas bobblehead giveaway on Tuesday, the first all-you-can-eat Wednesday of the season, fireworks both Friday and Saturday, and a Sprocket Piggy Bank giveaway on Sunday. Reserve your seats now at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Let's rock it. Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hello out there, we're on the air. It's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars,
that's a classic.
He scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Got a little playoff fever. We're coming both the NBA and the NHL playoffs today, and then we'll get to our list as well. The top 10 college football traditions as named by 24/7 Sports. We'll get that in there as well. And there's a lot of traditions in hockey as well. One of the hockey's great with tradition and superstition. One of the great traditions in hockey is the Rangers fired their coach, and they did it again. Joining us now.
It's at Nashville, too.
They just do it. Yeah. Well, Nashville, at least. Nashville hangs on to him. They hang on to him longer and longer and longer.
Maybe it's younger players then.
If Nashville was like the Rangers, they'd be firing a coach once a month. They would fire the coach. Greg Wyshynski joins us now from ESPN.com. He's on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Greg, welcome back. How are you?
A tradition like no other when it comes to the Rangers. But, it's like Gerard Gallant
scolded us, actually, in the media for even bringing up his job status. They said it was disappointing that he had to talk about it. And then he got fired 2 days later. So I felt kind of good about that, actually. I felt like we weren't really intruding on the guy when we knew what was up, and even he didn't. So there you go.
Do you take extra pleasure in it as a Devils fan, knowing that you got the Rangers coach fired?
I don't think the Devils did. I think James Dolan did. Like when you have when your ownership is as erratic as that of the Knicks and Rangers can be at times.
Yeah.
When the pressure is as high as it was for the Rangers in that series against the Devils. Don't forget, I mean, like, not only do they make the conference final the year before, but they go out and they make the Patrick Kane deal. They go and get Tarasenko. So, like, there's a ton of expectation on this guy to do something in the playoffs. And then when they don't, he's left talking about his regular season record, and then all of a sudden the team is like, well, that's not good enough, and off you go.
Yeah, Tom Thibodeau, the coach of the Knicks, is probably a little nervous this morning. He's like, oh, God, we get beat by the Heat tomorrow night and lose this thing. You're going to the second round. Knicks haven't been in the playoffs in 100 years. We got beat in the second round. We're probably going to get blown out here, too. And then Gerard could be the coach of the Knicks. Maybe that's what they had to do. They'll switch and see how that works out. Of course, we could always ask Kevin Weeks. He seems to be somebody that can predict the future. We could always ask Kevin Weeks to tell us, who's getting fired next, because, he seemed to tell us that the Columbus Blue Jackets would be drafting third before the commissioner or whoever was up there actually turned the card over to tell us he was drafting third. That was a little interesting faux pas.
Yeah, from what I gather, and I didn't get a chance to be on site for that last night. The NHL had some, I guess, independent media on site to kind of chronicle what was going on with the draft lottery. But from what I gather, it was one of those deals of like the NHL Network is the one that puts on most of that show, and it may have been a teleprompter snafu on their part that Weeksy just read, kind of a Ron Burgundy moment, I guess.
Yeah.
But again, like Jarmo Kekalainen, the GM of the Blue Jackets, said last night, I mean, all it did was kind of like, delay the inevitable or hurt the surprise a little bit. I mean, the Blue Jackets knew kind of where they were in the pecking order of the draft, the lottery, and knew it was going to be down to Chicago and Anaheim at the end.
And it goes Chicago, which means ostensibly they win the Connor Bedard sweepstakes here. This young man, he's 17 years old. How long? I mean, and he spoke of in the terms of the next, great one. There was Sidney Crosby and then Connor McDavid, and now this kid is coming next. He's going to be the next great player coming out of Canada. But in reality, is he 2-3 years away, or is this a kid that we're going to see playing NHL hockey, when he's 19 years old?
No, he's going to step in right away, I think. I think they'd be foolish not to, especially when you consider that they've pulled in over $5 million in season ticket deposits since winning the lottery. I mean, it's been huge business for them. It'd be insane for them not to play this kid as soon as possible. He's really good. I mean, if you're not familiar with this Bedard kid, like, the thing you need to know is that he has an elite shot. The shot that he gets off is really hard to stop. He's had upwards of like 71 goals this year in Canadian Junior. He's also a great playmaker. He broke a points record in a World Junior tournament that was previously held by Jaromir Jagr. So he's the real deal. The two things here. First off, it's a bummer Chicago won. One, because they had previous draft lottery success in getting Patrick Kane and building that dynasty. You'd like to see the wealth spread a little bit, but also karmically, based on everything we've learned about the Blackhawks in the last decade, insofar as that sexual assault report and everything else, you'd hope that they would maybe not win for a while. Like karma would come and visit them, and it didn't work that way. And the other thing is that you never know how long it's going to take for a team to turn the corner. I mean, if you ask me, the Ducks at number 2, where they're going to draft a kid named Adam Fantilli from the University of Michigan, real good player. Like, they're in a better position right now to contend than are the Blackhawks, I think, in short order. Like, they've got more to put around that kid than Chicago does. So, it took Crosby and McDavid only 2 years to make the playoffs. It took Ovechkin 3. It took Jack Hughes 4. You never know how long it's going to take. It's all about what they surround this kid with versus what this kid's going to do in his first couple seasons.
And he's going to make another number famous, right? We haven't had a 98. I got to believe he rocks the 98 in Chicago. I don't know what that means. It's not the year he was born, because this kid was born in like 2006 or something.
2005, yeah.
2005, you know. So
wild, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's not that. I'm not sure what the significance is, but I mean, nobody in Edmonton will ever wear 97 again. We're going to see Connor McDavid wear that one out. Of course, the 99 is retired throughout the league. So maybe it's time for a 98. I can't even think of a 98 out there back in the day.
No, it's like I said, whenever anybody gets traded or whenever anybody gets drafted, go to your team, go on hockeyreference.com, check out who wore what, and pick a number that you're going to be able to dominate. Pick a number that you're going to become synonymous with, and good job on him for having done so, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. I always was angry with the Predators equipment guy back in the day. For some reason, everybody that came up or everybody that was new to the team, this guy always gave numbers in the 50s too. And I'm like, if there's a number in hockey that, the best numbers in hockey are single digits, and then the teens, and I grew up in an era where the goalies were either 31, 35, or number 1. And nobody wore a number higher than the goalie. You know what I mean? Basically, it was the defenseman. I was a defenseman. I wore number 4. Defensemen wore single digits, and forwards wore double digits. And then it was all kind of the same. And then all of a sudden, we got these offensive guards running around out there and tackles and everything. and it looks weird. It just looked weird. And maybe it started with Gretzky.
It's also a case of you got to earn your number sometimes. Like I remember when the Ottawa Senators first came into the NHL in the mid-'90s. Like they had all these young guys like Yashin and Radek Bonk and Alexander Daig, and they all wore numbers in like the 70s and 90s. And those are like cool guy numbers. You got to earn that.
Yeah.
Like you can't come in with all that swagger and then have a terrible team.
Yeah.
Right. So it's I give kudos to Bedard and McDavid and all these guys. Lindros too is 88. Like for coming in and trying to really make a mark with an unusual number, because it does put some pressure on you because you are going to stand out from the pack.
Greg Wyshynski with us here. I still want to say Puck Daddy, by the way, every time I say that. Did that thing die with the – do they still even – is there a Puck Daddy anymore? Or you didn't own that. You should have owned that, man, because you were the original Puck Daddy as far as I was concerned. I mean, everybody called you that back in the day.
But they still do. They call me that when I go on Daily Wager. It's become my hockey wagering name. But the blog itself,
still exists?
Yahoo kind of got rid of all its blogs. Yeah. Which was really smart because to get rid of the writers with personality who wrote snarky stuff and spoke to the fans at a time when like Barstool starts printing money. Like it's a real smart idea. Great business they had there.
So I'm not going to get fined. I wouldn't get fined if I said generally it's not a Puck Daddy, Greg Wyshynski. I could hang that nickname on.
I don't even know. Okay. I'm the only one using the name. There's a few other people on like Twitter that use the name, and I'm like, come on, you know what's up. Like, that was synonymous with me.
Exactly.
But no, they still call me that on ESPN at times.
Oh, good. I didn't know that. I thought that was something like it was like trademarked by somebody else, and you can't use it anymore or whatever. But you dropped us a little ditty last week when we were setting up the Oilers and Vegas. We played it a couple of times after Leon Draisaitl scored 4 goals in a loss. Where you referred to Connor McDavid and his friend Leon. His friend Leon has been dang near unstoppable. Somehow they're down 2-1 in this series that is like a heavyweight fight between these two teams. They just like take shots, blowing each other out. It's amazing. But now the Vegas is taking back the home ice with that win last night.
Yeah, I was going to say it was quite stoppable last night. They all were. It was not a good night for us last night. Vegas played well defensively and, more importantly, limited Edmonton's power play chances to 1 for the majority of that game. And obviously Edmonton, their power play is clicking at 56%. It's obscene. If they don't get their power play chances, they can be beaten 5-on-5. And I think it's a combination of two things. I think it's one, obviously, discipline. That's a veteran team on Vegas' side. They know not to take dumb penalties when you have a power play that's good. But I've also kind of felt like the officials sometimes put their whistle away when they know a power play is that good. They don't want to influence the game by giving a team that scores half the time on the power play too many chances. So I think that's probably impacting the Oilers too. I think they're going to be fine. They just, for whatever reason, they didn't have an energy spike last night like you'd expect them to after winning so emphatically in Game 2.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that one there. The other thing we were talking about the last time we spoke was I was incredulous over the fact that Toronto was the betting favorite to win the Stanley Cup, and I was like, really, Toronto? I mean, and it seemed like they sold their soul to get that victory over the Lightning, and now they're just laying down for the Florida Panthers. I mean, this Panther team is just running through them, and I got to watch them up close and personal, watching every single minute of the series against the 7-game series against the Boston Bruins. But Toronto looks dead in the water, and Florida looks like they're a pretty decent team right now.
Yeah, the Panthers remind me of some of those teams that kind of find themselves in the playoffs. Like they obviously had to kind of rush to the finish just to get in, but then once they got in and really kind of found their swagger against the Bruins, punching underneath as an underdog, they've looked great. And I think Florida and Seattle are the two teams that seem to have gotten better as the playoffs have gone on. In Florida's case, it started with having the Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Bennett line be the best in the playoffs. Then Barkov gets going, Montour, their defenseman, gets going. Bobrovsky plays his best games of the playoffs in that second round against Toronto. Like everything's kind of coming together in a way that you sometimes see for these playoff teams, and it's coming together at the wrong time if you're the Maple Leafs because. That was the must-win of must-win games in Game 3, and the Panthers just took that thing over.
So ESPN has the big doubleheader tonight. Carolina and New Jersey. The Canes leading this thing by a 2-1 margin. We really need the Devils to come through this now. We got to have it because the Maple Leafs are shot. And I just don't want to see the Canes or the Panthers in the final. So we're going to get all of our energy behind the Devils here. But what do the Devils need to do to get this thing even up here tonight? Because this one feels like it could be going 7.
Well, I appreciate that about the Devils. I think they're a fun team. I think Jack Hughes is one of the more engaging players
Love
the
him.
NHL has right now, and it's awesome. Yeah, it's weird to be a Devils fan and have people like, I want to watch your team. Trust me on that.
Did you hear? I can't remember which guy it was. It was one of the. I don't know if it was one of your guys or one of the TNT guys, but they said that Jack Hughes had a modern day. It was funny. So he had a modern day Gordie Howe hat trick, a goal, an assist, and a roughing penalty. Because nobody fights anymore.
Nobody fights anymore. Yeah, that's a good line. That's a good line. No. The thing is that. They've got a ton of personality. They're a fun team to watch. They're very offensive when they skate and can get going. I do think they're going to even up the series, but I do wonder about them winning the series because the problem for them right now is that Carolina's just really good at home, and they obviously get to play 5 and 7 at home. When you're on the road and you're Carolina, you don't get the matchups that you get at home. In particular,
right.
Jack Hughes goes 2 games in Raleigh, doesn't score a point. Gets back to Jersey, scores 4 points. The big difference, Jordan Staal, their big center on Carolina, he played over 9 minutes against Hughes in each of the first 2 games in Raleigh. And then because the Devils got Hughes away from him in Game 3, he played less than 4 minutes against him in Game 3. Hughes was able to kind of have the night that he had. So Carolina gets the matchups they want at home. They definitely find their structure defensively better at home. So I would be surprised if the Devils do the same thing they did in round 1, which is rally and win the next 2 games after dropping the first 2. But it's going to be tough to try to win one in Carolina, man. I ain't going to lie to you.
And then in the late game tonight, the Kraken, it's just such a great name. It really is. I mean, they really nailed it, I think, with that one, with the Kraken. But the Kraken in Dallas, as the Stars try to even that series. I'm still bitter as a Western New Yorker, even though I'm a Bruins fan. As a Western New Yorker, I'm still bitter about skate in the crease, by the way. The skate was in the crease against the Sabres, all right? So the Stars are dead to me now forever, all right? Because skate in the crease, back in the old rules. Remember those rules? You couldn't even go, you couldn't have any part of your body in the crease. Now they're like rolling over goalies, and it doesn't matter. They count them.
Yeah, those rules stunk.
Those rules were terrible. That was terrible. But so Dallas trying to even things up against the Kraken. Of course, Seattle can take big time command of this series. They can get this win here tonight and take it home and finish it off.
Yeah, I got a funny feeling about Seattle tonight. Like I think at home they're playing really well. I think there's a lot of expectation that Dallas is just going to be able to flip the switch in this game, get a great game out of Jake Ottinger after they gave up 7 goals in Game 3, and do what they did to the Kraken in Game 2. But I'm not convinced of it. Like, Seattle's playing really well, and the thing that they're doing better than any other team in the playoffs right now is they're getting balanced scoring. They have, 13 guys who have, 3 points or more in the playoffs. They're getting contributions throughout their lineup. It's not about one guy or shutting down one line. They're kind of, like I said, coming into their own both offensively and mostly defensively, where they closed out that Colorado series with their best defensive games of the playoffs. So kind of like where the Kraken's headed here. I'm a little bit stunned that Dallas could be in trouble, but they could be in a spot of trouble here.
Yeah. Always a pleasure. Greg Wyshynski doing a tremendous job. I can call him the Puck Daddy because he is the Puck Daddy. This isn't a noun. This is an adjective. He is the Puck Daddy. And he is Greg Wyshynski, always doing a great job helping us out with the pucks. Greg, I appreciate it. Where are you going to be tonight? You going to be in New Jersey tonight? You're going over there or what?
I'll be in Jersey tonight. Okay. Yeah, it's the problem with living in Brooklyn and having New York teams involved. While my friends jet set between Vegas and Seattle, I'm taking the Lincoln Tunnel to New Jersey.
Yeah, but those are your boys, man. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's just still.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun to see him. Hey, listen, like I've been telling people, man. They beat the Rangers in 7. Everything else is gravy now. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. So that's just one of them kind of deals. That's Auburn beating Alabama in football. It doesn't matter. They went 3-11 or 3-8. Doesn't matter. They beat Alabama. So that's
same
that's
vibe.
A good thing.
Same vibe.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Take care.
The Puck Daddy, Greg Wyshynski. Well, it's one of the great media nicknames ever. Puck Daddy. He had the Puck Daddy podcast. Back when podcasts first started, he was the Puck Daddy on Yahoo Sports, and then he went to ESPN, and they still had Puck Daddy stuff over there. And it was like they didn't call him the Puck Daddy anymore. And it was like, why can't he be the Puck Daddy? Because that's like who you are. That would be like me leaving and going to another radio station and saying, oh, by the way, you can't be Big Dog. I mean, get out of here.
I got to be the little dog.
I got to be the little dog. Get out of here. All right, we're going to go open phone lines when we come back, get back to some football stories. But we're going to go open lines. But I'm going to warn you right now. All right, number is 256-576-4977. You need to distract me with a phone call. Because if I don't hear from you in the next segment, then I got to tell you a story that's very disturbing. I mean, a story that I really don't even want to tell. So I have one of these that I just kind of keep over here to the side. I don't want to have to tell you this story. So either we'll talk about what you want to talk about, or we got to talk about what I want to talk about, which is this disturbing story. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement,